Baltimore, October 3rd, 1849. It was a dreary day in Charm City when a typesetter from the Baltimore Sun discovered an incoherent, delirious man close to death in the gutter outside of a public house called Gunner's Hall. The typesetter recognized the man at once, for it was Edgar Allan Poe, the famed poet and author. Poe was a known alcoholic, and the habit had taken over his life since the death of his pretty young wife just 2 years prior. But here's where things get strange. Poe was not wearing his own clothes. The typesetter managed to get Poe lucid enough to give him the name of his local friend, Dr. Joseph Snodgrass. Poe lived in New York at the time and had been visiting Richmond to propose to Sarah Elmira Royster, his childhood sweetheart. He was due for an assignment in Philadelphia to edit a new collection of stories, but he never made it there. Snodgrass was both a doctor and a newspaperman. He was disgusted by Poe's drinking, and when he saw his disheveled friend, proclaimed him in a beastly state of intoxication. Poe was in and out of consciousness for the next 4 days at Washington College Hospital, where he was allowed no visitor. He repeatedly shouted, "Reynolds!" but no one knows to whom he was referring. Poe ultimately succumbed to his demons on October 7th, 1849. He was just 40 years old. To this day, no one knows exactly what happened to Poe. In the years immediately after his death, the rumor that he had drank himself to death, thanks to his alcohol abuse and a previous overdose with laudanum, and a hit-piece obituary written by his rival, Rufus Wilmot Griswold, helped popularize this theory. If he had been drunk in the street, it was also possible that he was beaten and mugged. The mysterious nature of the clothing that he was wearing, as well as where he was found, gave rise to the wildest theory of all, cooping. Cooping was a super intense form of voter fraud. Roving gangs would kidnap and drug a man, change his clothes, and then force him to vote for their preferred candidate. And they would take this man around and have him vote at all sorts of polling stations across the state. October 3rd, 1849, the day that Poe was found, was Election Day, and Gunner's Hall was a polling place. As if that wasn't strange enough, modern doctors have also posited that he either had rabies or a brain tumor. The brain tumor theory came about because while he was originally buried in an unmarked pauper's grave, by 1875 he was so famous that he was reinterred. The coffin broke open and one of the workers that was moving it said that something was rolling around in his skull. While the brain decomposes very rapidly after burial, a brain tumor can actually calcify. Poe is my all-time favorite author. I first read The Telltale Heart, The Raven, and The Cask of Amontillado when I was 8 because I don't know what my parents were thinking. So of course I had to make a perfume inspired by the author. It's called Lenore and it smells like ghostly whispers and dying embers of firelight. For more on Poe, listen to my podcast Storical.